It's like more intimidating to start now that it's actually been on YouTube. Before it was like, maybe this won't even be posted. Now it's like getting
No, you
posted.
got it.
You know what I mean?
We're held
Before we were just
accountable
fucking
for
around.
putting it
Now
out.
we're doing something. Okay, this is the next episode of Freshly Spoiled
Yeah.
with Monique and
Hi.
Ryan. We just came back from Wicked.
Yeah.
We saw Wicked in the theater.
It's late.
It's late. They don't need to know that we're tired.
Well,
I guess they should know that. We wanted to do it fresh. We want to watch. We want to freshly spoil these
freshly
things.
spoil this movie.
Obviously, the idea is that you're watching these; they're not being spoiled. You've already seen them, but there'll be spoilers, so beware. Yeah, we went to a 8:45 showing. Now, this is a movie I would have never chosen to go see. Through the course of this channel, you'll see that we're going to start watching a lot of the Oscar-nominated movies. I feel like that's going to be a big part of this channel. So we're going to dedicate ourselves to watching the Oscar. And this will probably be nominated. We're trying to get ahead of it. And the nominations haven't been announced yet, but we're trying to get ahead of it. And this will probably be nominated for something, I would imagine. At the very least, adapted screenplay and wardrobe, costume design, maybe.
Yeah. Definitely not dance. that was horrible.
Definitely not, because that's not a category.
Oh, well.
Best dance. There is not even like a best musical category. If there was, it would be best musical / comedy, which is always infuriating. Like the
So
Golden
for the Oscars,
Globes.
there is no musical.
There's no musical category. There's best song, I think. It's best song in a movie.
Well, then maybe this would have the best song.
Yeah, the last song, I guess, is the Defying Gravity.
Defying Gravity.
That's the only song that I recognized at all throughout this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so I wanted to preface that by saying, like, I'm not, I almost feel like I shouldn't even be judging this movie. We're just discussing it. I'm not really rating this movie because I don't feel qualified to do that. I'm not a musical fan. This is definitely a musical. Like there was parts where they, long stretches where they talked, but there was a lot of singing in it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't register to me.
I really like musicals. That didn't bother me. I thought that was good.
For anybody watching, Monique just got excited that she pulled a feather out of the back of the pillow. Ooh. I wish I had a camera back there.
I know.
Why does that happen? And how does that happen?
I don't even know. I was just like playing around and then it came.
It's not the first time it's happened. There'll be loose feathers around here. This thing just is like leaks feathers.
Yeah, so I thought the singing was great, and the musical aspect of it I really enjoyed.
You did?
I did.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. That's good to know, because I look at, like, it doesn't even register to me. Like, I don't want. So here's like, I wanted to like this movie. I wanted to discuss it mainly for this channel. Mm-hmm. If somebody stumbles upon this channel, which is unlikely at this point, if like you have to post pretty consistently before people get eyes on you. But I like to watch on YouTube people liking something I like. Like, I like those videos, and and so if somebody stumbles upon this, it's somebody talking about Wicked. Like, you want to see them talking about it positively. Mm-hmm. Once you saw, like, they don't. And so I'm not, and there's nothing to shit on. I almost, like I said, I feel like, why am I even talking about this movie? I'm not the audience for it. So, like, for the channel's benefit, I wanted to really like it so I can be like, yeah, this movie was great. Like, I don't even like musicals. And then people are like, yeah, it is great, right? And then they would maybe like our channel more. But I can't. But that being said, when you come to the channel, what you'll get is our honest opinion. So if you are more interested in honest opinions about movies, then maybe this is your channel to check out. So no, I didn't really care for it. I thought it was.
Is it hard for you to connect, like when they're singing and?
I absolutely check out.
You check out?
Yeah, I don't even really understand what, like, the message they're trying to get through the song. Like, I don't even. It doesn't even register as music to me, and I so badly wish that I like musicals. So many people that I like and respect love musicals, and I'm always like, really? You do? Like I'll find out that somebody likes musicals, like a comic that I like. It'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, I love musicals, and I go, huh? Wow, I thought you had
How
more
about that?
discernible taste than that. No, that's again, seems judgy. It just wasn't born. I wasn't part of my childhood. I didn't. It just seemed like, I guess a little bit with Disney cartoons always had a
Uh-huh.
bit of a musical to it, um, so that being said, like I don't really want to talk. I don't want to make it about that because that's just not, it was never going to get into my head. So
And so you never saw the play either.
no, I never saw Wicked. No,
Yeah. Okay.
my father.
I didn't see the play.
This was So a little bit of an aside. My father once bought me and my sisters tickets to go see Wicked. Well, he wanted to buy us tickets to see Wicked, but he didn't know when everybody's schedule would be. So he called me like a couple weeks before Christmas and asked me to design like a gift certificate that would say, I want to buy you tickets to Wicked. So I designed it, on the
Yeah.
computer. And then that was my gift to me. I gave him 3 of those, and he gave them back to me.
I remember this.
And I'm like, yeah. So like I knew my gift. So he said, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. And I don't know why he wanted to do this. Like my sisters never really showed an interest in musicals either, and I certainly never did. So a full year went by, he never brought up again. So his gift to us was just a piece of paper that said Wicked
Was
on
what
it.
would you like to do? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here, make it.
So the next year, I had the idea that I would make a blanket false gift to him. So I made up a receipt to him. I folded it, and it said he loved Shania Twain at the time. So I said, I want to book a private island for you and the family with a personal concert by Shania Twain and all the Corona that you can get. And then I handed it to him. I said, yeah, since we're giving each other made up gifts. I said it doesn't really
This
matter.
sounds
Yeah,
wonderful,
yeah.
right?
Wouldn't this be cool? So I guess I almost saw Wicked, but I escaped it.
Okay.
Um,
I came into this really biased. I think my whole issue with it was like I just wanted another story. I didn't want it to be like The Wizard of Oz, but not. And honestly, I really thought they did a good job. Like, yeah, they followed the story, but it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
you didn't want the story that you love to be kind of taken away. You feel like if they told the story well, then. But I love that Wizard of Oz, and I don't want her to be a bad.
Yeah, I didn't want I just didn't like the idea of having an explanation for her being a villain. Like
Right.
I liked her being a villain. I liked that categorization.
Yeah, you okay with that?
Yeah,
You're like,
I
yeah,
was like, fine.
some people
Like,
are
yeah,
evil,
I
and
don't need to know her
yeah.
her childhood
this-
and her sob story.
right. But the story is really that she's not wicked, right? It's that, I guess the moral, if there's a moral to the story, which I actually really appreciate. I did appreciate a lot of things about this movie, which maybe I should put at the beginning of this video. I thought it was, a nice story of you can't judge things by what the information you're given. There's always an explanation for things. People that are mean have been wronged in the past, and there's a reason why they act the way they act, and not everybody is, wicked for no reason. So
I liked that that she was like standing up for animals. Like that was her whole thing. Like I'm curious. I should have looked this up, but I don't know if that's part of the play or part of the book, the original.
it must
like,
be
novel.
because
But I thought that was so cool. Like that was her
Yeah,
whole.
I
thing.
thought the same thing. I thought that I love that. We both love animals.
But nobody's
so
ever
much.
talked about that.
No,
before
I didn't know. But I've
as part of the story. Like I feel like that was the whole reason she was like to Oz. Like
yeah, that was great. That it was
Yeah.
based on animals, but maybe like you maybe have had conversations about Wicked. You say nobody talks about that. If somebody started talking about Wicked, I would have walked away. So I wouldn't have known if people people were talking about that. People were like, oh yeah, all right. Anybody need a drink? So I would never know that that was part of it. Unless it was on the billboard, it was like how the Wicked Witch saved
animals.
saved animals, saved
Yeah.
animals. Like it's not. So that was really great and surprising. And at first, I was like, when the animals started talking, and like they were a part of it, and
Yeah.
the doctor was a bear that delivered her, and then
Yeah, the
there were-
nurse, the bear nurse.
yeah,
and then
the nurse, yeah,
the professor goat.
Professor Goat.
Yeah, that was a little weird because I feel like we had no context of like, why are there talking animals?
Yeah,
Like, this
I
is a
was
weird
like,
world.
I thought this was based like as unrealistic as Wizard of Oz is. That I guess I thought it was going to be within those
Parameters
parameters
what
of
was said
reality.
already, right?
So like, yeah, flying monkeys, okay, I'll
Right.
give you flying monkeys. But like now, like talking animals, there were no talking animals in Wizard of Oz. So what are we talking about? But that's kind of the whole premise of the thing was that there's, the animals used to talk. And if you step back and like really think about it in an abstract way, it's like, yeah, maybe animals used to be able to talk. And like, why wouldn't they? But like, they have all the same, they have a tongue in their mouths and they have, so, this is a world where animals used to be able to talk and then they were stripped of that ability, which is another, metaphor. I'm sure there's a lot of, political undertones to this movie. I felt like being different and being ostracized because you're different right away. And then, like it's, you can point evil at something that's different to you. Like there's a lot of, realistic stories that go along with that. So yeah, I was surprised by that. But then when it was explained that, this is the whole point of the story is that animals used to be able to talk and now they can. She's trying to save the animals.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, now it makes sense that the animals talk because you're explaining it. It's not just animals are talking for no reason.
And it was funny, like right in the beginning when she had her first like fit in the schoolyard and she threw the bench and it hit the wall and it came down and it showed like the mural of the animals and the bear.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. That was
Yeah.
like I guess like a foreshadowing to like
Sure.
this is what it's all about.
Yeah.
And like, she was just a very powerful, like good, like strong witch. Like she just had like powers and she didn't know how to control them, and that's
Yeah, I guess that was there wasn't enough of her learning to hone those those powers to me. Like she was like, oh, I'm gonna work with you one-on-one and you're gonna be part of my course or whatever it was. And it's like they didn't show any of that.
Yeah.
And I guess if they like a montage, like montages are kind of hacky, but nothing about this movie would lead you to believe that they wouldn't throw a montage in it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would have worked to be like, oh, you see her honing those skills. Like she was just as new to those abilities. Like she had no honing at all before she was brought to Emerald City in front of Oz to, perform a spell. And like, but she hasn't learned. Like we haven't shown her learning.
She was practicing and
yeah, but they didn't show it. They didn't show any of that to us.
anything
And
like
if you're like, if this is a 6-hour story you're telling us,
Yeah.
you could squeeze in, like cut a
5
song,
minutes
cut a song,
Yeah.
or make a song about her learning her craft. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see the second part.
I know. I was excited. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, great. Now I'm invested. I
Yeah.
want to see,
The last number really made me appreciate the rest of the movie. Like, I felt like I got more emotional towards that last thing. I've kept hearing about, I'm sorry, I don't know, I'm not in the musical world, so I don't know the actress's name. So I'm going to look it up now. And obviously anybody, if you're watching this, you're like, Cynthia Erivo. Is that it?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cynthia Erivo, yeah, and Ariana Grande. So I've heard Ariana Grande sing before. She's got a great voice. You know, it's not my type of music, but there's no denying that
Yeah,
she
it's
has a powerful voice.
Yeah.
I kept hearing about how Cynthia's voice is just unbelievable, and it's like,
Yeah.
and I didn't really get that from the
didn't?
beginning of the movie.
Oh,
like
right.
throughout the beginning of the movie, I was like, yeah, she's, you know, obviously she's a good singer, but I wasn't like, holy shit, like this woman could sing. But then at the end, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
She was able to.
Yeah, like and then like those big, powerful, like the
Mhm.
rest wasn't really.
I think maybe that's also like her arc, like the character's arc. Like so now she's like kind of.
No, she
you know,
yes,
she's got
because she was
her-
singing kind of lightly throughout the rest of the song. There was no
Yeah.
big number.
Yeah.
So
The worst singer was the teacher, the gray haired teacher that was trying to teach her. The talk singer.
the heavyset woman.
No.
Oh.
I don't know her name, but the one that was trying to teach her how to levitate. She took her to. She was like in Oz with her.
Oh, the Asian woman.
Yeah.
It was Michelle Yao. Michelle Yao.
Was that her real name?
This woman.
Mhm.
Yeah, we just came from the movie. Madam Morrible.
Yeah. Right.
Madam Morrible. Is that how you pronounce that?
She was pretty bad.
I didn't. It didn't register. They all sound like that. You know, it doesn't. I thought that the one woman, the heavyset woman that worked there, and I said she looks like she just walked past the makeup trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went from her trailer straight to set. Skip the makeup trailer. I wonder if that's ever happened. Like, is that okay? Because she was meant to look like she was just a homely woman.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we just want
Don't
like
waste time.
yeah, like we're not gonna make you put makeup on so you look like a woman who doesn't wear
you look
makeup.
great.
You literally
This is
just
how
don't
we
wear
want
makeup.
you. Yeah.
Looked incredible. The movie looked like the feat of the filming of this.
That's what I was most excited about. Seeing this world like modern.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, I probably would have appreciated a toned down version, like a more interesting take on it, like something a little more abstract about it, like maybe a darker version of it. But I think that this probably serviced the fans of this better. It was just, you know, the sets. I heard there was a lot of practical stuff in this movie. Like there wasn't, you know, obviously there was a lot of CGI and stuff, but there was a lot of practical stuff. Like there was a lot of sets that, you know, looked like that.
Like physical things.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That is what I heard. But I also heard that they were singing, like really singing a lot on stage, like the sound stage. Like they would, like it wasn't, a lot of times it's pre-recorded and you're just kind of singing along to a recording.
Yeah.
I heard that they were like, in the scenes they were actually singing those.
Whenever I
Which-
see somebody singing in a movie or a show, like I always look at their throat and like see like if their
Yeah.
veins are popping.
Or else they're just,
And Ariana, like it did look like that. So
but you can just sing. Like you don't have to lip sync.
right.
You
Okay.
can just sing
You
and then they
could-
just cut that audio. Like they're just not recording that audio and they just dub over
Uh-huh.
that audio. Like we're recording into these microphones that are on that board and this camera is not, you know what I mean? It's like the same thing. It's like that camera's recording audio, but it's not the audio that they're hearing. It's going to that board. So it's, you know, they probably tell them just sing and we'll overdub it. But I did hear that but if that's the case, it's really impressive from a technical aspect because it sounded perfect. So to be able to record somebody like they're in a studio on a sound set,
Yeah.
I don't know if that is the case or if what I heard was just a lie. But if that is the case, that's impressive. I did look up because it was almost 3 hours, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom at some point because we got a large Sprite. So I I googled what's the best time to go to the bathroom during Wicked, and it said leave once the poppies are back in the jar. You have a few minutes to leave yourself during Madame Morrible's private sorcery seminar. So maybe that's. Oh, did I miss? I went to the bathroom for
You
this
went
part,
to the
maybe.
bathroom.
But I was
but
gone for
feel like-
4 minutes.
Yeah, no, you didn't miss it. Like, you missed the beginning of her walking into the animals meeting.
Mm.
them
Yeah, I
talking
came
to-
back to that. I came back to that. So it says you Elphaba. It says you'll miss a brief moment where Elphaba, that's her name, right? Arranged the enraged by the incident from class, attempts to levitate a coin and provides. She hasn't learned the harness of powers. Okay, so yeah, I read that and I was like, I'm already out on this movie before as we were getting our Sprite, but so I did take that note. I left once the
you did.
poppies went back in the jar. I said, you know what? I'm going to take advantage of that. I am going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, I was like, I'm going to have to Google when's the second best time to go to the bathroom during Wicked.
Elphaba, I think that's
Alphaba. What was I called? What was I saying?
Elphaba.
Alphaba. I just left the movie.
Sorry, I can't remember.
What was she calling her? Alfie?
Elfie, I think.
Yeah.
I thought that was cute. Her little nickname for her.
Yeah. Oh, the humor in this movie too. I was not expecting as much humor in it, and not to say that I was rolling on the floor laughing at it, but I was told I was surprised that there was even attempts at humor, like and kind of silly humor, like actual.
I thought Ariana
jokes.
was funny, actually.
Yeah. No,
Like,
there were moments. There were moments where she was.
Her like hair flips every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was definitely funnier than I expected it to be, for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't expect any jokes. I guess, but every movie now, unless it's like a true drama, like even like those superhero movies that I don't watch, but like everyone always says that they're like comedies as much as anything else. I wrote down a couple things during the movie. After they became friends, and she was like, "I'm gonna make you over. I'm gonna make you popular," and she seemed like excited about it. I was like almost insulted for
her to be
like
wanting to change.
Yeah, but no, like, or for like anybody, any woman, I guess specifically, or any person who considers themselves a critical thinker and like an intellectual of any kind, to be so easily like I don't know, but you don't understand. I don't want what you have. Like I don't like what you have. I don't have the desire to have the popularity. Like I am awake to pass that. Like I'm, it's like she's a smart person. She has progressive priorities. She's not anxious for people to like her and to be popular and to be pretty.
Yeah.
So it's like you're undermining this whole character who's been like everything she's set up to now is like so cutting and smart and insightful. It's like, yes, this is a person to look up to. Not a person like she's not easily convinced to be like, oh, and then like wave your hair,
right,
and,
right.
Like, you can be popular. She doesn't want that.
Yeah.
Her eyes are opened, and once you're open to stuff like that, you can't roll that back.
Yeah.
Like I've had. That's the thing about being analytical and being critical is that once you are that way, it's impossible to put it back in the bottle. Like, I don't feel as arrogant to be able to. I am somebody who tries to look at the world in a critical manner and not just sheepishly walk through the world. Like everyone in that was like, oh, it's just so stupid.
Yeah.
And then I think they even said, she said when she was with the hot guy, he said, no, well, she said he's been thinking lately, and then but then he said something that made her think maybe that's why you're unhappy, indicating like he's thinking about stuff like and that's she doesn't want to care so much. She goes, I care too, and she's like, maybe that's why you're not happy. Like she kind of saw through him, like he's kind of being fake happy, so she sees that he's more caring than he's leading on to be. Like he's like, no, I'm really superficial. He's like, he's not.
That's right.
So it is like it's a harder life to go through life thinking about things and analyzing things and like trying to be realistic about stuff. It's happy people just walking through life to me look stupid. To just be like, oh, like you look like an idiot when you're not. Like Mark Maron used to do a bit, and it was like when people say, I'm sad. It's like, good, you're paying attention. Like, look around us. Like, that's what you're supposed to be. Yeah. Like, it's if you're not upset or like depressed about something, something's wrong with you. Like you. So, yeah, it was a little like it was brief, but it was also like she would have never even let that much in that character. I don't like inconsistencies in character. Like when you've set up a character, like a strong character, she wouldn't break that easily.
Yeah.
I've reiterated that too much now at this point.
I think it was just, I think for the movie, it was just she was touched that she had
Yeah.
somebody that finally like stood up for her and was, behind her, while everybody else was laughing at her. So she kind of was like,
Yeah.
she felt softened a little bit, and I feel like that's what let in um that ability for her to be like, oh, all right, maybe I do need to change, or maybe I do need to like kind of fit in a little. And then like I think quickly that was resolved, and she
Yeah.
went back to like taking a stand, but now having somebody like by her side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's not completely unrealistic to think that could happen, I guess. But I don't think she would have even got to the part where she got to the party to be put in that position. Like she wouldn't have fallen for that. She's, oh, here's a hat that's ridiculous. Like put it on, and it's like she's like she's the only one wearing black anywhere. It's like the fact that you
But
put
I
on
mean,
that hat is not like the most alarming thing.
no, it wasn't. But I feel like for her, like that gift, she might have taken it like genuinely because it did fit her wardrobe. She was like, "Oh,
Yeah, right.
She actually really does like me, and she knows my style, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
wear
but
it."
then wouldn't she show up and everyone be like, "Oh yeah, like this green woman wearing
Yeah, no, I don't understand
her
why
ridiculous outfit and
Yeah.
also a hat that goes
There were so many
perfectly."
weird things going on. Like her green skin and her hat had like very minimal like shock value. I feel to the world that they were in.
Yeah. You know, but it was a better story than I was expecting. It's so funny that they went that angle. Like when people are thinking like, how can we? I'm sure whoever wrote the original script is like, how can I take this classic movie that everybody loves and give somebody another point of view to it? All right, how do I make the Wicked Witch? How do I present that in a different way?
I just think I don't know, but I just think it has to do with like sometimes if you have something that's already established, it's easier to get other people on board to like watch it instead of creating something totally different.
Right.
So I don't know, maybe the person who wrote the original book was inspired by the Wizard of Oz and they were like, yeah, let's make this story about the backstory about all this stuff. Or maybe they were like, I have this concept, but it's, nobody's going to really pay attention to it because who is this character, right, that I created? So they were, I don't know, maybe like, oh, I love the Wizard of Oz. I could kind of implement this and, latch on to that, which, it worked. But.
Yeah. I would imagine, I mean, I have no idea, but I would imagine it would be, they wanted to, I'm completely making this up, but in my mind, the story, I always make up backstories in my mind, and the backstory I made up in my mind for this was somebody wanted to express how there's always another side to every story, and you can't believe one side of the story, and we're always sold one side of the story. And if you have a friend who's telling you about something that happened at work, and they tell you their side of the story, and you just believe that, like a lot of your friends telling you about a shitty thing that happened at work is like, a lot of times they were the shitty person that did the thing at work. You know what I mean? Like, you're getting the story that they want you to tell.
Yeah.
Like, if you heard the whole story, you'd be like, actually, my friend, my friend was the one that, fucked up. So I think that they wanted, in my mind, they wanted to express that. So what do? I take one of the most famous stories in the world, and how do I make people think, like, express how you can't ever trust the story you're being told. That person who wrote the book, I don't know who they are. Maybe they're dead. But if you're watching this, the person who wrote the book, Wicked, let me know if I'm right.
I don't think so. I think they were born in. I think it was written in the 1995.
The book, really? Okay,
I think so.
good.
I could be wrong, but I think that's what I.
I'm not gonna.
And then the play was 03.
Wicked book. Let's see. It's on. Yeah, 1995. Gregory Maguire. I bet you there's probably some interview with him that
Yeah.
expresses that.
Curious.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff
him and his
Goldblum.
Fancy footwork.
Yeah. You said that was your favorite part
That was
of
my
the whole
favorite
thing. Yeah, you didn't love the dancing, huh?
No, no. It was a lot of like shoulder, like sharp, short movements.
So that leads me to a question. I was blanked out for a second there because I had a question I wanted to ask and I forgot. But her dance at that party, was that supposed to be bad?
It was, I guess.
Was like embarrassing.
I think it was
like
supposed
this,
to be like awkward.
Like when she did like this elbow stuff.
It was
like,
almost like the sprinkler, but like not.
I'm like, okay, that's really bad.
So bad.
But so it must be like she's doing an embarrassing dance and then Galinda. Like helps, like saves her.
That was funny.
Because even her sister was like, I can't watch because she wasn't just like so. But it didn't look much different than the rest of the dancing.
Right?
It was just slower.
Yeah.
So it was hard to decipher what. Yeah, I don't. But again, choreography is not my thing either. So I don't feel like I can judge. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe this is great choreography. I like people who just.
I feel like it's okay to have an opinion on like.
Well, my opinion is it all stinks. Like my opinion, seriously, my opinion is that all choreographed dancing, I have no interest in.
Oh.
So that's my opinion is that it's not good. So it's I'm like to say like this choreographed dancing stunk is like well yeah because you don't like any of it. So you know what I mean I'll just keep my mouth shut now after I've said that. My opinion is that it's all.
Stinky.
We got a soundboard here. We want to use it. So, do you think the spell that she did when she was there and she was at Oz and she was like just kind of it was
with the wings
gibberish, like yeah. Do you think that was a script that she wrote? Like, do you think there was a script of gibberish? Or do you think they told her just like improv?
Was she like because I was trying to hear if she was repeating the same words over and over again, but she wasn't. So yeah, I think they created like this.
Do you think they created it? Told her like, yeah, just go up and like kind of just say some gibberish.
I don't know. I feel like they created it, but
yeah, it seemed a little too neat to be that, but and it's like such a production there. I feel like they're not gonna be so loose with that. Yeah,
say whatever you want.
But like you look at the amount of people and the costumes, like unbelievable. Like I would have loved to have been there to see them shooting it, just like in real life, to see the amount of people and. Just the amount of material that went into clothing all these people.
Yeah.
The hours that went into making all those different costumes. And just even for Emerald City, for 3 minutes of walking through the city to get to Oz, there was so many costumes for that little
scene. So many people in that
it wasn't
courtyard.
even like, oh, it's worth it because these people are going to be in 3 hours of the movie. Maybe they're being part 2 because like they already filmed part 2. So... Like maybe there's more in Oz, so that'd be more beneficial to have all those costumes already. But even still, like, really crazy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I loved, how it just opened up right off the bat. It was like singing, dancing, like when the movie started. They didn't wait too long to get into it.
No, I didn't love that, but I could see.
I did. I love that, and the song, the Wicked song. I loved that.
Yeah, that was. I didn't like it, but it was an interesting. I liked the theme of it. Nobody mourns the wicked. Was that the line?
I don't.
You loved it so much.
Yeah, the one right in the beginning. Right?
Yeah. So, and that's why I'm interested to watch part 2 because I want to watch. I'm interested to see how they get to that point where she's coming back with good news about her friend that she knows isn't wicked.
Yeah.
And she's telling the story. So that's the premise, right? She's telling the story that how she got that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're like, oh, you were friends with her, right?
Right.
She's like,
but I feel like if she tells the story like I think it's supposed to go, where they express how she's not really wicked, like she was trying to do good, and the whole city of Oz turned against her, and then isn't the town she goes back to gonna be like, then why the fuck are you so happy she's dead? Like you're an asshole. Like if she really tells the story like it's supposed to be, they're gonna be like. we misjudged her. Like, we feel bad that we misjudged her, and we did it because of you. And like, you're fucked up. Like, you're telling us a story that like shows you not in great light, right?
Yeah.
So I hope they hang her up at the end.
I want to see like how the monkeys come back to the Wicked Witch, because right now they're
Yes.
not with her.
Oh, that's right. So in Wizard of Oz, that she controls them.
Yeah, they're like hers,
Oh,
and she
that's
sends
interesting.
them out. And
Well, she's got spells, so I'm sure she can put another
true.
spell on them.
Yeah,
where,
yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
I have a few pet peeves that happen in a lot of movies, and this movie is no different, so I'll express them. It's a person that it sets up that she's telling this story at the beginning, right? That's how it sets up. Like, I'm going to tell the story of the Wicked Witch's life and how she got that way. But in that, they're showing us things that she wasn't present for and would have no idea of. You know what I mean? Galinda is telling the story, and she's adding details that she wasn't present for.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
or
yeah.
like situations like, I mean, maybe we're gonna find out in part 2 that they got together and she filled her in on all this stuff and she told the story. But like when Galinda was asleep in the classroom and she ran off with her boyfriend, like she's telling that story, but she wasn't there. She was passed out in the classroom. So how are you telling us this story?
Right.
It's always a little, it's always like, well, it's a movie telling us, but no, but you're setting it up. Like, just don't set it up that she's telling a story. Just show the movie, and then you're not like
And then there's
anytime a
question.
movie starts with, let me tell you the story. Well, then you better be present for every bit of that story that you're telling,
Yeah.
or at least, make it plausible that somebody passed that information off to you, and that wasn't the case. And then the other one is, this happens in every goddamn movie that's ever existed, is that people fall in love, fall for each other based on nothing at all. Like
Galinda and
and that was an exaggerated version of it, and it's almost a comical version of it. Like, yes, we're perfect, we belong together.
Right.
It was just like automatically magnets to each other. So that's, I feel even like dishonest even criticizing that. But like the wheelchair girl and like the guy from
the Munchkin.
Munchkinland, like she was in love with him, but based on what? You've never had a conversation with him. He's never proven himself to be somebody worthy of your affection and love. Like, he asked you to a date and you were like, but like, I wish that so many movies do that, where it's like this couple, like they meet, have a meet cute. And it's like, there's a little spark. And yeah, sometimes we meet people in life and there's a spark and it's like, oh, I like this person. But it's always like, you show us a conversation they had that shows you their connection. Like, why did they feel a connection? They never show that in movies. It's always like, oh, it's always like a physical thing. Like, I'm attracted to this person, or like one little thing that they did that's, oh, that I like that, but I have to, that's a complaint for Hollywood, not for Wicked. Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, thanks for inviting me, on to the dance.
Yeah.
And he's like looking at us.
And I'm like,
Galinda.
I'm so nervous for that relationship. Like, I don't want her like to find out the truth.
Oh.
But it doesn't really matter because they seem like they really like each other. Like, they're
Yeah,
like
it
a
seems
real
like they
couple. Like
connected,
they're a real
after
couple
the
now.
fact,
Yeah. And he's still like,
he's like, oh, I was kind of
longs-
settling and trying to get Galinda, but actually, you're kind of cool.
Yeah. But like, then he at the end, like, he did like still state that he's, he longs for Galinda, and she was hurt by that. But I feel like almost like she's painted as this character. You have to be like, of course she wants, like, everybody wants her, but like, he's not gonna get her, so like, yeah, I want her too, but like, we all want Galinda, but you're not getting her, I'm not getting her, so we might as well hang out.
Yeah.
And we can both drool over her every once in a while. Yeah.
Her wardrobe was fun. Galinda's. I liked the pink, the flowy.
Yeah. Yeah, her eyebrows bothered me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the powdered.
Yeah.
Blonde.
Yeah. She's such like a little, I mean, she's gorgeous, but she's, again, not my type per se, but you look at her, it's like, wow, she's like a perfect like a perfect little woman, you know? Like she's just like carved out of.
Yeah, I was gonna say she's like really good for what she does because she could fit into anything. Like it's like I feel like a costume designer's like dream and like
Yeah.
makeup person's dream.
Yeah.
Because yeah, just like put anything on her body,
Yeah. I
and
know.
it'll be fine.
Well, that's, I mean, and I didn't say this to my boss the other day, but because I'm already looked at as a weirdo over there. But he was like, I told him, like, yeah, I'm trying to diet. He goes, oh, well, you're in good shape. You don't need to lose weight. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not as fat as you are, but I still would like to. But what my answer was like, well, I want to dress nice and clothes look better on a thin guy. Like that's my goal for losing weight. Is like I want to wear clothes I like, and I can't dress myself when I'm fat. I want to wear good clothes. Like that's my only, you know,
My only
that's
goal.
my
for-
second one. Like I want to look better naked, and I want to look better with clothes on. You know, I want to wear better clothes, and when I take those clothes off, I want it to not be disgusting.
Yeah.
So yeah, but her body, yeah, somebody must be like, I can put literally anything on you and
Yeah.
it's gonna look good. Yeah,
Yeah.
must be nice.
I know.
It reminds me of that other. We're also watching English Teacher. So if anybody's made it this far,
So good.
it's just, I mean, I'm really impressed by this show, English Teacher. And the guy said, I think people usually look at thin people with nice faces. I think they usually consider thin people
Women
with nice
are usually
faces.
attracted to men who are thin
Like, yeah, thin with nice faces.
and good personalities.
Yeah, so he's like, I think you're screwed. But yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Trixie Mattel's in the second episode. If
Oh,
you're
yeah.
interested.
Of English
Of
Teacher,
English
not
teacher,
Wicked.
not yeah.
Yes. That was all I wrote down. We also had lavalier mics on the whole time. We were sat a good distance away from anyone else in the theater, and we talked a little bit throughout the movie. So I've yet to check how those sound, but maybe we'll do something with those if they sound okay. I would love to. I want to do like live reaction things. But, yeah.
Yeah. So overall, it exceeded my expectations. I was happy
I'm-
with it. I'm excited to see the second part.
I'm thrilled to hear that because I felt like you weren't really interested in watching
I
it,
wasn't.
and it
I-
was
no.
the Oscars thing that kind of made us do it. So I'm happy you didn't feel like you wasted your time.
Yeah.
doing it.
No.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it has like pretty much all the elements that I like. Like I said, I was just kind of like a little
Yeah.
biased about like the story.
And I didn't feel like I wasted my time. Like I'm happy I see it. I like to be part of the conversation, the overall, the public conversation. I like to know if people are talking about
Well,
it.
yeah,
that
that's
I
also
like the references of it.
The thing
you know?
too being, yeah, like in the know with what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That was it.
All right.
That was Wicked. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.
Bye.